9-0 win, and you must be happy with that.
Yeah, there's no complaints today. Obviously, first half we talked about a couple of little points and keeping the ball, moving the ball quickly, and kind of having that little bit more movement up front. And then that second half, it's all about that. I was just saying to the girls there, I think when we do the analysis on Thursday with the lasses, it's going to be very positive. It's going to be all about reinforcing, because the goals we scored that second half were free kicks, a couple of the kind of open play, Eve's movement to win the 2 penalties. It's absolutely class, and there's nothing really further to add, and it's just a bit of a statement win. And then obviously can't really do much more to get us ready for Alnwick next week.
I felt like the game took a little while to get started. I think it was around the 40th minute mark when we did take them. Were there any positive signs, do you think, despite not scoring?
Yeah, lots. It's obviously the keeper had a couple of good saves, and we wasted maybe a couple of chances. But we talk about how we traditionally are quite slow starters, like kind of previously, and then we're kind of strangling that down and down and down each time. And it's all about just trusting what we're doing. And it was slow, but the purpose of how we play is that we keep it moving, we keep the opposition running, and then, like I say, they just run out of steam and just run out of motivation, because you only want to chase the ball and not have the ball so much. And then, like I say, second half comes in and it's kind of one-way traffic then. But it's cut all that. The kind of 8 goals we scored in the second half came from the 40 minutes in the first half where we just ran them.
Yeah, I was down there at training on Thursday. You did mention intensity. Do you think the team showed that especially?
100%. I think that was the biggest thing in the second half, is we just turned the dial up by 4 or 5, and the movement became electric, and people were in and out, and positions were switching around, and it's really hard to deal with that as an opposition when like you don't know if you're as a centre back, if all of a sudden you're facing up to a centre midfield and the striker's out behind you. It's really difficult to deal with, and that's how we're trying to play. We're trying to cause that kind of panic in the opposition. Because, like I say, Hartlepool came in that first half, they set up a low block really well, but we knew that we would keep moving it, and eventually they would get sick of sitting in and chasing the ball, and that's what happened second half.
I would have asked you about specific goals, but I think we scored a bit too many to put on.
Yeah.
2 direct free kicks, one from Jazz, one from Meg. What do you have to say about that?
It's amazing what practice does. For Jazz's in particular, Dan had worked with her really specifically at training on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and working on that, almost the exact position she took it from. And then top bins, you can't complain. The penalties, like I say, again with Eve, we've worked on them, like we've said, because Eve as a striker, even as a striker, sometimes lacks that little bit of confidence when it's kind of all on her shoulders, and we've worked on it, and then she put 2 in the exactly where we've been talking about. So it's really pleasing, and like I say, it's set pieces we talked about last week. Like, set pieces is one of our key strengths, and we just keep drilling them, and then you just can't deal with them sometimes. Because like I say, both free kicks, I think, it took 2 goalkeepers not save them. So happy days.
Big statement win, obviously, in front of the home crowd. What do you think they've learned from the experience?
Hopefully they enjoyed it. I don't think you can be more entertained than that. Obviously we had kind of 160 people in today. We've just got to keep growing that. That's the benchmark now. We've got to keep bringing women's football down at the first cloud, getting more and more interest. Obviously start with the FA Cup next week. Hopefully people see the result and go, actually, you know what, I want to give them a look. Going to have a look down, and we get double that maybe next week. Obviously the Sunday dinners are absolutely banging, and we just keep pushing. And the thing that I would talk about with the club when I came in is to grow it and grow it and grow it, and not get tired of kind of pushing ourselves as far as we can, because we've got ambitions to move up the leagues. And if we do move up the leagues, we've got to have the infrastructure, we've got to have the support in place and the finances in place, and that comes from getting that support built. So hopefully they enjoyed it. Hopefully they come back and bring a friend each next week.
Football's obviously a learning experience too. You learn something new every game, so what lessons have you learned today?
That, just to stick by our principles. We've talked about it a lot in the last 2-3 weeks, that we've got our own style now, and that's how we play. Like, we don't kind of bend it around, we don't switch it. All right, we're playing Hartlepool, we're playing a low block today, we'll play the exact same if we play against a high pressing team. So we've got players who are quality and move it around. Like, you can only defend like that for so long, and then, like I say, the floodgates will open. And obviously it's a statement win, but it also puts a bit of a target on our back, and players, other teams will start looking at it and thinking, right, okay, well, we won, put them back in the place. But we've got no interest in going back in our box and keeping quiet. It's all about pushing now, pushing forward all the way.